Hello everybody, Jamie here from FM Scout. We know Football Manager can be daunting if you've just started playing the series. This is why we've put together 100 tips and tricks to help you along the way. Stick around to the end of the video, hit the subscribe button if you want more videos like this, and press the thumbs up to help people find the video. Let's get right into it. When setting up your game, if you want to view all the attributes of the players without doing so much scouting, make sure you disable player attribute masking. If you prefer to do the scouting, make sure you leave this unticked. If you are playing in one league and you want to view the other leagues, make sure you add the leagues and the start and make sure you select view only, otherwise you won't be able to see the league tables of the individual leagues. You get the option to do a small, medium or large database, but many people don't know that if you go into your advanced tab and then go to continents, you can add all the players from individual continents, which makes many more players available in your game. When you have an affiliate, you have an opportunity to negotiate that affiliation. When you do that, you will get lots and lots of options to increase the affiliation, and again, you can bring players in through your intake who are from your affiliate club. You have an opportunity to make a lot of money in pre-season. Now, the way you do this is arrange your friendly and then go to the type and select league. Ensure you select the 3 days and always try and choose high reputation teams. You will get money for TV revenue and of course the gate receipts as well. When looking at getting an affiliate with another club, always make sure you try and go for countries with good regions, i.e. Defensor Sporting in Uruguay, teams in Brazil. Always look for the youth recruitment of exceptional youth recruitment, then negotiate that affiliation. Rejecting a job offer from another club will improve your popularity with the club's board and the fans. Keep that in mind. You can ask your board to relay the pitch if the pitch has fallen into a poor state. Just go into your board, make a board request and look for the option. When negotiating contract terms with a player, you should consider how additional bonus may impact your club's finances. You can ask one of your players to recommend signings, as this can increase your reputation with the player. Just go to interaction, go to advice, go to recommend signing, and then choose one of the options. Make sure you scout national teams, youth players. This is a great way to find some upcoming players. Highlight the players, right click and press get scout report. You can find players whose contracts are expiring. Just go to edit search and then go to expiring in 6 months. You can bid for these players. Any players who get the flu or a virus, ensure that you send them home and don't leave them in the club. They can pass the virus on to other players. When signing a new member of staff, you can ask that staff to recommend a signing. Just press the button once he signs, ask to recommend signing. A good way of finding players is go to your league, go to news, go to transfer rumours, and you can see what other clubs are bidding for right now. Make sure you check them out. You can use your director of football to find players. If you don't have a director of football, you can still do this. Your chairman will find them. So go to your transfers, go to director, press suggest transfer targets, choose your position for transfer, press suggest, make sure you scout them and see how they are. You can declare interest in players and disrupt them at their current club. If they are much lower than you in the league or the league below, just make sure you go to the player, go to transfer, declare interest, and press for transfer or as top target. You can actually add players from intake days into your shortlist to determine the values and the attributes of the player. Simply go to World, go to Transfers, ensure it's on intake, highlight the players you want, right click, add to shortlist, go to your shortlist, and you can determine these by value of kind of who's good. When searching for young players, you can set the age and you can also look for attributes as well. So if you're looking for a striker, you can set the attributes of these, and then you can use this little arrow here to go down to find players with the attributes around that stage and of that age. When offering a contract to a player, ensure you try and remove the sell-on fee percentage under the bonus and clauses. If this is set at 50%, if we sell this guy for $1 million, this means this player is going to get 500k of that deal. So make sure you try and remove them as much as you can. Instead of looking on the loan market on the player search, right-click the clubs and press Get Team Report. Do this for as many clubs as possible. This will bring you more players available for loan that aren't currently in the loan market. A really good tip. Signing a player with a massive reputation can provide a commercial windfall through shirt sales, so bear that in mind when you're looking for your next target. If you offer an injured player to clubs, they are less likely to show interest until the player is over his injury. Bear that in mind when trying to offer your players out. If you offer too many players out to other clubs in a short space of time, you may damage your team's morale as other players become worried that they're next in line, so also bear that in mind as well. Trialists are not allowed to play in competitive matches. They're only eligible to play in friendly games or reserve team fixtures. You can find out the level of scouting knowledge your club has by viewing the knowledge tab on the menu bar within the scouting screen. Players who are transfer listed are generally knock down prices compared to their value, as you can see right here. The more scouting knowledge your club has, the more players will appear on this player search screen as well. Scouting a player more than once will increase the likelihood of the scout finding out more about his strengths and weaknesses. Always remember, you are the better negotiator than the AI. Make sure you add bonuses and clauses that you believe the player might never reach, enabled to lower his wage. When selling a player, ensure that you try and add percentage of next sale over percentage of profit. This means that you will get money when they sell the player. Always make sure you offer a trial to a player rather than scout him. Scouting takes a week, the trial comes in instantly. If you're trying to get a work permit for a player and you need to loan him out because you can't play him, make sure you send him to somewhere like Spain or Portugal. These type of nations only take 2 years to gain a nationality for Spain. It's a great way to get work permits for players who can play in the EU. Don't be afraid to do set-piece routines. These can be very beneficial. You can do corners, free kicks, and throw-ins. You can add 3 tactics to your tactic screen. If you're using the same tactic, make sure you add all 3. The players will become much more familiar and they'll be training on all 3 slots. Too much intense physical training during the season is likely to tire your players out faster and increase the risk of injuries, so bear that in mind. Training is most important to players before they turn 18. After that, they will find playing time more beneficial. When resting a player, choose the length of the rest carefully, as many players don't enjoy being out of action for too long. You can edit player instructions to your players. Just press the player and you'll see the instructions. Press edit and you can add player instructions to individual players. If one of your players isn't playing in regularly in your first team, it's very important to keep his match sharpness up and his match fit up. Right click the player, go to squad, go to available for, choose which one you want, and then available for 90 minutes or until match fit. Players will naturally develop their mental attributes through experience as they get older, as you can see with De Bruyne. Players aged 24 and above are less likely to see a dramatic improvements to their attributes through training or natural progression. During pre-season, it's very important to get your players physically fit. It helps with conditioning through the season with injuries as well. So the best thing to do is go to your schedules, choose your training, and you can choose a preset schedule or you can make your own schedule, but do a lot of physical training during that period. Make sure in the latter stages of the season, especially for leagues with lots of games, that you decrease the training intensity. This will help massively towards the end of the season. You can add tray plates to players, so if you really want to get your guy shooting from distance, you can simply go into the individual training tab and then discuss a new trait and choose one of your coaches. He might agree or disagree with you, but then that's your choice. When creating a new schedule in pre-season, you can get team bonding going, so this will help your guys get used to each other if you rebuild in the squad. Make sure you put this in. You can see they do generally lots of social activities to become familiar with each other. Training a player with roles that cover more attributes can be helpful for overall improvement. Example, the guy we're looking at right now is advanced forward, but he's training more as a complete forward because he's got more attributes to train. When viewing your fixture screen, you can actually press past meetings and see what you did in the past on this save with them. You can see right here, it gives you a little table in terms of wins and losses. In the training section under coaches, you can actually add or edit your coach assignments. Just go to edit coach assignments, remove all, pick them yourself or ask your assistant to pick. The idea is to try and keep light coach workload. Diversify the places your scouts know. So if you send this guy out to Spain and he's not naturally got any knowledge in Spain, over time he will gradually build that knowledge. Keep sending him there and eventually he will get full knowledge of Spain. Domestic staff are more likely to be cheaper in wages if you're on a tight budget. If you are struggling to sign staff, go to the job centre section under staff and place an advert. People will apply for your jobs. If you want to speed up pre-season, you can get your assistant manager to take over friendly matches. Go to responsibilities, go to match, and make sure this section here takes charge of friendly matches is delegated to your assistant manager. If you have a coach who's good at 2 things, make them train both things in the coaching assignments. When signing a head of youth development, you should always look at the personality and the preferred formation. You can see the best personality is model citizen, model professional is second, and professional is third. You also want to try and get a head of youth that has got the same formation that you play. This will help in the long run in your intakes. Your sports scientist will suggest ways to reduce the risk of players picking up injuries during training. Very important to have these in the club. The star ratings for staff gives you an indication of how good they are worldwide for that job role. Staff on part-time contracts will have less time to train players than full-time staff. General coaches work with and train both senior and youth players. In the mentoring section under training, you can add mentoring groups. You can ask your assistant manager to do this, or you can do the groups yourself. This is especially good for changing personalities, amongst other things. Under your team report section, you can go onto your assistant report and look at strengths and weaknesses in your team. This is very good to find out the weaknesses and, of course, improve the weaknesses. The player is very efficient to raise the morale. Once you press praise conduct, it will go from very good to a step higher in his morale. A great way of improving the morale. If you're training a new player in a new role and he's not quite getting into that role, you can criticize his role. Go to criticize and press the third option. Sometimes when a player asks for a new contract, you can ask the player to sack his agent. Sometimes this will avoid him asking for a new contract. Never praise a player's good training more than 3 times in a row. They will tire of the feedback. Withdrawing a player from international duty with his national team may adversely affect his morale, or worse, cause the player to dislike you. Frequently altering the squad status of a player risks unsettling him and he may make him unhappy. Serious or career-threatening injuries can affect a player's bravery, but they may be able to recover from that eventually, as you can see on the screen. Hamstring, knee ligament, and Achilles injuries can affect a player's pace and acceleration, either in the short term or on a more permanent basis. Foreign players with a distinctly different football cultural upbringing may take a while to settle into playing different styles of plays. A good way to strengthen your relationship with a player is to sign someone they have recommended to you. Youth team coaches only train youth players. They do not work with or train senior players. Be more demanding of your players when they're playing at home, where your fans will be expecting of you to push on and try and get the right result. Stadium advertising in Football Manager isn't just there to make things look more realistic. Click on the hoardings and you'll not only find out about our partners, you'll also receive the very latest exclusive offers. If the morale is low, harsh team talks are unlikely to improve things. Aim to encourage your players and give them a lift. You can add match stats, league tables, latest scores, amongst other things to your current screen. Just press this little box right here and you can choose what you want to show on screen. Avoid a second yellow card in the second half is very important. It could be the difference between a win or a loss. So highlight the player that's got a yellow card at half time and then go to calm, assertive, whichever one, and then press I need you to watch your step and avoid another booking. Usually they will calm down at this point. If one of your player has an injury, place them in the general rehab so they can continue to train in some areas. You do this by the individual training section. When choosing your captain, the most important attribute to consider is leadership. When moving from club to club like Journeyman saves, never holiday or instant result competitive fixtures. They will not count to your win-loss percentage. When doing Journeyman saves, if you turn down a contract at your current club but change your mind, you can always ask the board for a new one. When looking for a new job pre-season or anytime you can go on holiday, just in your holiday options, make sure you tick apply for managerial positions and the holiday will return once you get an offer. You can bring staff from your former clubs. They are more likely to accept deals and join you. My most favourite tip is you can actually continue by pressing the spacebar on your keyboard. When saving your games, make sure you save it to cloud. This will ensure that you can always get the save back. The notebook is a great way to track new-gen dates or contract dates regarding individual countries. You can check out what past club stars and favourites are doing now by clicking the Where Are They Now option from the Best 11 screen. You can customize your current squad view by going into customize view and adding more and more details into the main screen like this. We would always suggest using autosaves. Nothing worse than losing progress. Use autosaves with a 10 file rolling autosave and decide the length of time in game you want to save. Finding under 23 and under 19 coaches can be very frustrating. Once you get rid of this top option, this will just show you the staff that's interested in signing for the under 23s and under 19s. When doing network games, ensure that you press use Saturday and Wednesday matches. This will ensure that all players across the board use just Saturday and Wednesday matches. Under preferences, type skin and then press skin colors. You can actually change the colors of the attributes. On day 1 of starting a save, ensure you check your responsibilities. Sometimes your under 23 manager will be signing players for you when you're trying to save a wage budget. Make sure you undelegate these and make sure you're doing them yourself. If your game starts to become quite slow on a day-to-day processing level, just press add and remove leagues and you can remove the leagues to ensure that the season after, these will be gone and it will be much quicker. You can view your finance projection by going to finances and then projection. You can see over the next 3 years where you're projected to finish based on your income and expenditure. When starting a save, always make sure you check your transfer clauses section by going to transfers and clauses. Make sure you sell the clause because this is a great way to get an increased transfer budget of what players have left in the past. You can add a player to a development list. Just right click the player, go to transfer and add to development list. The head of youth will then try and find the player alone. If you are struggling to sell a player, you can right click the player and press transfer add to unwanted list. You can sell or release and the director of football or the chairman will try and sell him at what you've suggested. And that is the end of the video. I hope you guys have enjoyed the 100 tips and tricks for Football Manager. Hopefully you guys have learned something new. If you have enjoyed the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye everybody.